Hi, everybody. Welcome to Outside the Sanctuary. Might look a little different in here today. So I am Bill Merck. I am your host, and I am joined by the lovely Keely Smith. How are you?
Doing good. How are you tonight?
Good. So I get to call you Smith, so that's fun.
Yeah, it's a new transition. I still don't answer all the time when people call me Mrs. Smith.
Really? Oh, that's pretty funny. So
Like who?
she got married since she was on here the last time.
Mhm.
So now she's Smith. So yeah. I mean, but yeah, you haven't changed your Facebook. You're still Keely Ann.
Yeah, well, that's my middle name. That's why I never put my last name, so then I didn't have to worry about it.
Oh, yeah?
I was thinking ahead of the game.
Like years ahead of the game?
Like when I was 15, I was thinking ahead of the game.
You were on Facebook when you were 15? I am so old.
Something like that. I
Yeah?
don't know. I was either MySpace, Facebook, something else that
Were
was there.
you had friends with Tom on
Yeah.
MySpace?
I was.
Good.
He was my first friend.
He was all our first
The
friends.
longest friend I had.
Well, we welcome you, and we're going to have a good conversation, maybe. And if not, we're just going to scrap this and you'll never hear it.
There you go. That's what I said.
I know that's what you said, but that's not true. They're going to hear it. Somebody is listening right now. They're driving in their car and they're like, they did play it.
They did.
And you know why they're listening? Because
What?
they're content. See how I brought that in there?
I like that.
Yeah,
Good
thanks.
transition.
Yeah. And so we are talking about contentment. And we're going to bring in some scripture. We're going to bring in some all kinds of different things on contentment. So if you're not content, listen up. If you are content, good for you.
Still listen up.
Yeah, you can be more content.
I think so.
Can you?
I think it depends on what you define contentment to be.
Okay. Go ahead. Do you want to give a definition?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a dictionary definition.
Yeah, that's fair.
But my definition of contentment is a refusal to relinquish joy in the midst of not getting what you want.
That's pretty deep. I like that.
Yeah. I was thinking about it today and I was like, what is contentment? What does that actually, because, contentment can just be this phrase that we say, be content, be content. But usually we're saying it to children when they're like demanding something. We're just saying like, be content with what you have. Stop demanding something more. It's like, but as an adult, I still have those moments of saying, I want more.
Right.
I want to have what I want. And what I've come to realize is that contentment is saying, I will still hold joy in this moment, whether I'm getting what I want or not.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
What would you describe contentment to be?
Well, I mean, I guess I look at, I mean, I'm bad with definitions, so it's probably not great. But I mean, so contentment, I always look at like, well, what's the opposite of it? Mm-hmm. So greed or, Selfishness is a good one. As I was looking it up, because it said here, somebody wrote, contentment is a virtue. The Bible encourages believers to cultivate contentment. As Paul writes in Philippians 4, I have learned to be content regardless of my circumstances. And he wrote that from prison. So I guess, that's pretty big.
It is. And, Paul writes even in Romans that I have learned to be content whether I have much or if I have little. So it's not just a one-time teaching that he gives us. It's something that is repeated multiple times throughout Scripture.
Yeah. And I know David talks a lot about it. And I mean, there's a lot of instances in the Bible where people weren't content. And this one's an easy one. Let's go starting with Adam and Eve. Yeah. I mean, that one's pretty big right off the bat.
You gave us the entire garden.
Yes.
But we can't have that one thing.
The one thing we're not allowed to. Yeah. I mean, but that's us as a human race. I mean, we can have everything and just a little bit more,
Yes. Pastor Greg and I were talking today about a student that he used to have. And with this student, he always just wanted that one more thing. And he would play this game called Zonk with the kids. And pretty much it's the kids would answer a trivia question, and then they had the opportunity to take all of these cards off. And if they had a number on them, then that number was times 1,000. So if they got a number 4, it was 4,000 points. And they could keep turning the cards over until they reached a face card. If they got that face card, then zonk, they're out. They lose all of their points. Or they could be content with what they got and choose to like put those points towards their team. And so many times he was like, I just kept encouraging him, like, bank it. And they're like, just one more card. And then ultimately that one more card would always be turned over and it would be the too much. And they would lose everything from it.
Yeah. Or you could go blackjack as adults where people go to the casino and they lose it all because,
I just need that one more.
I just need that one more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, more people in the Bible that were lacked contentment. The Israelites.
Yeah.
Walking through the desert.
All throughout in Egypt.
Yeah.
Before that.
Yeah. Not very content people. King Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These are just a couple that I jotted down. So, if you're looking at me, look at my phone. That's what I did. I jotted things down. I did.
Yeah. I jotted things down.
Oh, cool. Well, you're way cooler than I am. Your things are probably way nicer.
Your things are written in handwriting.
Well, I got some handwriting and some I just copy and pasted because I said earlier about greed, but covetousness, I can't even say it. Yeah. It's actually it's the 10th commandment.
Yeah. Thou shalt not covet.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Murmuring and complaining and grumbling.
Mm-hmm.
That's an outward expression of a discontented heart.
Mm.
That was written by AI.
Yeah, well,
yeah, that's where I go nowadays. I just want to see what it's going to say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's actually pretty good. I like it.
Sometimes it's like, I have this concept in my brain, but I just need you to simplify it so that other people can chew on it as well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Anxiety and worry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think that's something that actually has grown throughout the years, anxiety, because there's so much more at our fingertips. And because of that, and our hearts, when they're not content, says, well, when I see more, I just need to keep getting it. And then you start becoming anxious because, well, now I have to think of how do I get that next thing? What do I need to do to make sure that I have this next thing?
Right.
Because it's never enough. The more things that are created, the more it's never going to be enough.
Wow. So then let's go deep here now. When you were in Australia with the Aborigines, right? Or is that what it's called? In the Kimberleys.
Yeah, with the Aboriginal people, yeah.
Okay, see, look at me. Were they considered more content? Because I think of a movie, and I know you're not going to think of it, but I'll get into that in a second. But
okay.
What did you feel about how they dealt with contentment?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually thinking about that myself, of some of the countries that I've been in, Australia being one of them.
Yeah.
There's two vastly different societies there. You have like the Caucasian Australians who live in cities and have at their fingertips everything that we have here.
Yeah, right.
And then for a lot of the Aboriginal people, they are living in more remote communities where they don't have the same access to things. And there is not the same grumbling that happens between each other. There's actually more of like a willingness to share what they have with those who don't have something. And I don't know if that necessarily communicates contentment in it, where it's hey, whether I have this or not, I'm still going to find like joy in the moment. I'm still going to be at peace in my surroundings, but I saw evidence of it, even if it wasn't necessarily vocalized, that's what people.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So have you ever seen a movie called The Gods Must Be Crazy?
Yes.
So that's about the Aborigine people in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And they're living their life. They're doing their thing. They're working together where they don't have phones that are loud or anything like that.
Sorry. I thought I had that on silent.
I know, it's all good. I was just kidding. And so they have nothing. And then a guy is flying over in a metal it's an airplane, but they think it's an evil
god.
or
something.
some god. And he throws out a Coke bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down, hits him.
Yep.
And now they have this Coke bottle that can do so many magical things they can use it as an instrument if they blow on it. They can roll things with it, like for food.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants it.
Yes.
And it shows that just one little thing, it can destroy it. So they decide to throw it off the edge of the world. And that's the movie.
Yeah.
So,
but that's part of what stirs up discontentment is the comparison, right? So when you start seeing what somebody else has that you don't.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which we all face, whether you realize it or not. You're comparing yourself to the people around you, to the vehicles around you, to the clothes around you. And I think, one of the things with contentment is it's not just an outward action that you're seeing. It starts as like a heart attitude. Right. What am I allowing to be the focus of my thoughts? The focus of my thoughts is, wow, I wish I had Bill's style. Man, I wish I had clothes like him.
Nobody's ever said that in their life.
I'm just throwing something out there.
No, don't do that. Don't do something that nobody can relate to.
Okay.
Nobody's ever said, hey, I want to live like I was in the 90s again.
Well, I mean, some of us do. The music was fantastic.
I agree with you. Wholeheartedly agree. But I'm just saying, they're like, yeah, that guy hasn't changed. Go ahead. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just being a punk.
Yes, I know.
You know me well.
Something like that, where you're in church and you're worshiping God, and you happen to notice that the person next to me has this beautiful leather coat, and I'm going, oh man, I've always wanted a leather coat like that. And now, instead of having my heart being focused on the Lord and so grateful that I have a coat that is keeping me warm, instead, now I have embraced, fed, and sought after a discontent heart by saying, oh, I'm not going to be thankful for the things that I have. And instead, I'm going to be upset because I don't have this thing that I don't have that somebody else does.
But it's okay to, hey, I like that coat.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't mind having it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the upsetness, right? I mean, that's pretty much the...
Yeah. I think it's the upsetness, but also, at least for me...
The distraction.
Yeah, it's the distraction, but it's also like it starts become like the thought pattern. Like it keeps coming up in my brain. And not saying that it's wrong to want things and to be intentional about like, oh yeah, I'm setting aside for this, or I do have extra that I can go and get this thing that I want. I think it's when it becomes the obsession or the idol of your thoughts. And then because of that, you cannot find joy in the things that you currently have.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's finding joy in the things you have. I think that's there was some quote, and I tried to pull it back up, and I'm going to let everybody know what day we're recording this. It's the day Verizon went out.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pull it back up, and it was a cool quote. It was basically,
how content were you feeling with your provider?
Oh yeah. I am not content with my provider. I got to be honest. I was bent at my provider because yeah. But here's the thing. Now it's a brick right now. Besides, it's a little notepad that I have, but
a high-tech notepad.
It's the highest tech notepad I could possibly have.
Everyone should get one.
Yeah,
Go
right.
to the stores right now.
Yeah, it can't call or do any of that fun stuff. But it's it's basically be thankful for what you have rather than what you want or something like that. I don't know. It was way better than what I was possibly saying, but that goes most of the time.
Yeah, but I think you captured the heart behind whatever the quote was.
Oh, here you go. Hey, I wrote it down. Contentment is not possessing everything, but giving thanks for all that you possess. There we go.
I like that. Being thankful for all that you possess.
Yeah.
I think that's the heart of it.
Yeah. And so we're looking at it from a biblical view.
Mm-hmm.
So we're giving thanks to God for everything that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it looks a lot different in a an unsaved, unbelieving view of what contentment is.
Mm-hmm.
I think they look at it more as a I'm happy or I'm not happy, not grateful to God for what he's done and given to us. We can just be content in the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was trying to think through what would a non-believer's perspective be on contentment. And I don't know, there's part of me that says if your mindset does not have anyone to be grateful for the things that you have, do you ever actually stop and say, I'm content with what I have? Or is there always a desire pushing you forward to get more? Because it's never enough. And there's nothing to be thankful for what you have.
Yeah. I mean, then Thanksgiving would be just worthless for them. I mean, it's true, right? I mean, that Thanksgiving is, hey, we're thankful for this food. Who are we thanking? God. You gotta,
I'm thanking myself for working and making money.
Have you ever seen the show Alone?
No.
Okay. It was something you would like. It's all naturey and stuff. So it's a show where they actually throw people out alone, and it's a competition show.
Like Naked and Afraid.
It is like Naked and Afraid, except they got clothes.
Okay. That's the only thing that Bear Grylls would.
Yeah. So no, but they all have to. They don't. There's like 10 people that go out there. None of them know where the other one is, and they have to survive. They're all survivalists, and they have to survive for however many days, and then they can always shoot a flare to get themselves out, and they hit a button. They said, "Hey, come pick me up."
Okay.
And they're out there for a long time, and it's the last one to be on there wins the $500,000 or something. But the cool thing is they don't know how long they have to be out there. They could be out there 3 weeks. They could be out there 3 months. They could be out there 3 years. It just keeps going until whatever. But
until other people are
until everybody pops themselves off and they say, I can't survive anymore because I'm starving.
Pops themselves off. You mean they leave the show. They're not dying. Right?
Yeah, they're not dying. Okay. Now, the funniest one was a guy who was all tough before he went out there. Yeah, I'm gonna be out there. They drop him off. Like they take a boat, they drop him off at his little part of the island. And I think it was in Canada somewhere or something. Okay. And they always try to make it so it gets cold pretty quick.
Sure.
So that
because that's miserable. It's
kryptonite. And they can get them all. And then there's no food and that kind of stuff.
And you're cold and often wet.
But the guy gets off the boat, sees some bear droppings, hears a bear, and literally they aren't even like 20 yards back. He's like, I'm off. Get me out of here. There's a bear.
He never would have survived my camping trip.
Yeah. Doesn't go camping with you.
Yeah.
But, he was there for like 30 minutes. Other guys are like 6 months.
Oh, my goodness.
So, but anyway, but the whole reason for that part of, you just had to listen to me to describe a show, is basically some of the people, they'll shoot with an arrow because they can get arrows. They have like some items. They can shoot a bird and they'll thank the bird for giving up his life. They're like, dear bird, I thank you for giving me nutrients. And you're like, you kind of, bird didn't create itself. And
right.
Or they thank the tree for shelter. And you see all kinds of different things. It's really fascinating. It was on the History Channel. And then there's some episodes on Netflix. There's like 20 seasons or something.
Interesting. It actually reminds me of a situation I had when I was in Australia. I had been out in the city of Perth one day, just walking around and talking to different people and sharing.
Excuse me, but Perth, is it
Perth
big?
In Australia.
No, I know Perth in Australia is a place. Is it, I know like Sydney's like real city-ish. Is it Perth real city-ish?
Not really. More smaller
suburbs?
Than Philadelphia, but it's not as tight as Philadelphia. So you have a little bit more space between you, but you have like walkable.
You have high rises and stuff.
Yeah, you have high rises there. I wouldn't say that they're as tall. I keep hitting this thing.
Yeah, can you not do that?
I'm so sorry.
No,
it's just right at my fidget level. So
your fidget level.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm content that you're here.
Thank you.
I'm grateful you're here.
I'm walking the city streets. And I mean, honestly, I could run the inner circumference of it in an afternoon. So it wouldn't really take all that long. So I'm walking around and I meet this one woman and I'm walking around talking to people about what I believe in, because that's why I was there. I was there to share my faith in Jesus and to ask people if they had questions or wanted to have a conversation about that. And she goes, "Oh, I believe in the birds." And I was like, I'm so intrigued by this.
Yes.
Can you please explain to me? And she goes, "Well, I see the birds in the morning, and when they fly in this specific pattern, I know that it's going to rain. And so I will make sure that I put on a raincoat and rain boots. And when I see them fly in this specific pattern, I know it's going to be a really hot day. So I make sure that I bring extra water with me. Or, I sometimes watch them. And when they get frightened, I know maybe something's coming my way that I need to be prepared for." And I asked her, I said, "Well, can I ask you, why would you watch and believe in the birds, but not the one who created them?"
Right.
Like, if you understood and realized that they were created, wouldn't you want to turn to the one who's giving them direction and thanking him for giving you those cues and things? And it was so fascinating to me because she was like, "Well, no, I think that it starts and ends with the birds." And I was like, okay, I don't really know how to go further in this conversation, but it made me think of that when you were saying that they're thanking the birds for giving them direction. But
where are the birds on a cloudy day? Or
exactly.
A day where they're not flying.
Right, exactly. Or they've flown to a different portion of Australia because it's cold.
South. Yeah, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I mean, I know that, non-believers sometimes listen to us and they're like, "Well, how can you believe in this?" And then, there's, we can go into apologetics and everything like that. But as far as, faith, we have faith. I just, sometimes you hear stuff like the birds. She would have really been thrown off by the Alfred Hitchcock movie.
That's what I was thinking.
It would just be, today's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming after me.
They're coming for you.
Yeah, Tippi Hedren.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a couple other notations I jotted down here is contentment. So as far as contentment goes, it is not a excuse to avoid growth. And I think sometimes, it can be like, complacency rather than contentment. Mm-hmm. There's a story, and I'm going to steal it right here. So a man's walking through the park, and he sees a fella sitting down on a bench. He looks incredibly peaceful and happy. Curiously, he approaches him and asks, "Excuse me, but you look like the most content person that I've ever seen. What's your secret?" The man smiles and says, "It's simple. I've reached a point in my life where I've refused to argue with people. I just agree with whatever they say, and I just move on with my life. It keeps my mind perfectly at ease." The first man scoffs and says, "That's ridiculous. You can't just agree with everyone. That's no way to live a meaningful life. You're just being passive and avoiding reality." And the happy man looks at him and nods slowly and says, "You're absolutely right." So I guess a lot of it is a mindset. You have to be intentional about being content. Does that make sense? Or am I off base?
I fully agree with you. I actually have written in my notes that contentment cannot be passive.
Oh, look at you.
Because
I use passive too. I stole passive.
And I actually think that it comes to I don't necessarily know how to put this into further thought so we can have a discussion about it. But I actually think that part of it is relinquishing control, because you can be passive because you're saying, I have control of the situation. I'm going to choose to be in agreement with everyone.
Right.
And so now I have control of my life. I have control over all of these things. And that is complacent, because you're like, I'm just not going to try anything else. But contentment, part of contentment is recognizing that you are not the one in control and being willing to relinquish that and to be satisfied that the one who is in control has your best in store for you. And it's sometimes hard to think of that. Like, how do I relinquish control? Because God has given us free will, and He's given us the ability to make decisions for ourselves.
Right.
But I think that there is a difference between like holding on to control and saying, yeah, but I'm going to choose the things that are going to make me happy, instead of saying, no, actually, like, I don't always know the things that are best for me.
Right.
I think of in my own life, I never would have chosen to go to Australia on my own. I would never have quit my job. I never would have made those choices for myself. But God led me into them. And man, I look at my life and say, it is so rich and so full. And I am so content in my life because I relinquished that control. And I said, I'm going to follow where you take me. And in that following where He took me, I knew, there were days that I did not have much, and there's times that I did have a lot.
Right.
And in both of them, there was a heart posture of saying, I don't have to control this. I can be at rest and in security because I know the one who's with me in this. And maybe that sounds a lot like Christianese to people, like, okay, well, what does that actually look like? But
so when you said there's days you had a lot and there's days you didn't, is that inward or is that possession? What do you mean by that?
So I actually think it's both. So, living as a missionary, I was raising funds for my daily life. And, sometimes the finances were more scarce.
Yeah.
And so you went to, the discounted items, or, our base often had like a trash bag full of like, donated food that was given to us from like different organizations. So, I would choose those things and eat them and use them for my dinners. And then there were other times where people would just randomly message me and say, hey, I had you on my mind. I'm going to send you this money to take yourself out and do this special thing for, for yourself. And regardless, I was like, God, you are providing the food that I need. And I can be content with that because my need is met. My hunger is met. But also, like, there were times where I felt deeply lonely. I was in a different country, experiencing a totally different culture. A lot of times I didn't understand the humor. It's very sarcastic there. And
I wouldn't get that.
You would actually thrive in Australia because the way that you show affection is by like kind of criticizing people and, giving off hard-handed, snarky remarks.
That's how I show affection?
That's how, well, sometimes.
I don't know how bright you are, so I'm a,
Exactly.
I know.
You really like me.
I did that intentionally. I'm content with our friendship. I'm actually complacent with our friendship.
That's what I was going to say. Is it contentment or complacency?
It's just complacency.
Yes. But I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, it totally makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it made sense to me. So, and I'm the only one here.
Exactly.
Right?
Nobody's
listening. Nobody's watching.
That's right.
I'm content with no
you can
viewers.
Cut this part out.
No. This is the good stuff. I don't know. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and this is the stuff I like, where it's just goes off the rail. I understand some people want us to be like, okay, now we're going to turn to Philippians 4:13. And I actually listened to a couple of those podcasts, and one guy that I really enjoy, Red River Ministries, I'm giving him a shout out. He's starting his podcast. It just started on James, but he has a wonderful voice, and he talks very. This is it, and it's great listening, and just it's
tune in,
And then I flip over to ours, and you got Katrina. And Steve's going, and
which is even higher
your voice is even more shrill, and now
I'm so sorry to all of our listeners.
Everybody's just like, oh man, you should be content with your voice. You don't want Katrina's voice. You don't want it.
I never said that I wanted anybody else's voice. I'm
kidding.
It's interesting, though, that you bring that up, because there was a long time that I actually was quite self-conscious about my voice and how high-pitched it was. And actually...
when was this?
Oh, probably up until 28 or 29 years old. Yeah.
So last year.
Yeah, pretty much. 10 years ago.
Oh, you're
9
old.
years ago. I know. It gets pretty old. But, the thing is that I thought God had made a mistake, honestly.
With your voice?
With my voice, and that actually my voice didn't hold much influence or matter.
Okay.
And I think that it's because for a very long time, instead of trusting God, that he had a plan for me and a purpose for me specifically, I kept comparing myself to the plan and the purpose of the people around me that I saw actually walking out in faith that he had a plan and a purpose for him. And it wasn't until I actually said, okay, God, what is your plan and what is your purpose for me? And I felt like he was leading me into missions for a season. Now I felt like he's led me into children's ministry, that I have actually become so content because I know the plan and the purpose he has for me. And he has created an avenue where my voice and what I have to say impacts a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that very humbly because I don't really think that I am, and I know that I'm not qualified for that role, but God has equipped me and qualified me to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're qualified.
Well, not because of anything that I've done to prepare myself for it. It's because of what God has led me into and the experiences that he has allowed me to participate in that have equipped me and have grown me and prepared me for what he has me doing now. And now, even tonight, I was, with our Discover Kids program, and I'm teaching them about Elijah, who's a prophet, and he is pointing the people back to worshiping God. And I'm sharing this with them, and I'm looking at their faces, and they are just like gobbling down what I have to say. And there's a part of me that says, wow, God, I have gone from a person who thought that you made a mistake with me and with my voice and that I didn't actually have a plan or a purpose. But look at how fully and abundantly you have used me for your glory and to point others towards you with what you have given me. And that adds to the contentment of I see him working and I see him doing things in my life and in other people's lives.
Yeah. But now, so you say, Australia then led you into children's ministries and you feel content.
Mm-hmm.
But is there the unknown of what's next? Do you get nervous with that? Because I think sometimes I do.
Yeah, I think that there is.
Like, what's next for me? What's next for, or do you just live it in the present tense? Where do you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of an oddball when it comes to this. My husband is not. He's very future thinking.
It's okay. You can talk about him. He won't listen.
Okay, yeah. He hasn't listened to any of them.
He hasn't listened to one of ours. So
we'll get him eventually.
I'm going to get him eventually. It's my goal in life.
Probably not the ones I'm on, but that's okay.
I'm not content with that.
Well, learn contentedness. It's a choice.
Okay. But speaking of that, I'm going to take a choice to take a break.
Okay.
And we will be right back. So be content with this commercial.
Welcome to Emmanuel Baptist Church, where our focus has been building strong lives in Jesus Christ since 1925, right here in Maple Shade, New Jersey. With 2 Sunday services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., you can choose the time that works best for you. And if you have children, our Greenhouse Kids Ministry and Nursery are available during the 11 a.m. service, so you can worship without distractions. But that's not all. On Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., we offer Sunday school classes for all ages. And if you're looking for a midweek pick-me-up, we have a variety of events on Wednesday nights. For more information on all of our programs and events, visit our website at ibclife.org. Follow us on social media and check out our weekly bulletin. And there's one more way to stay connected with us. Download our Church Center app. With this convenient app, you can stay up to date on all of our events and register for programs. Emmanuel Baptist Church, building strong lives in Jesus Christ.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hopefully you're enjoying.
And are content with our contentedness.
You're content with our contentedness?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Hopefully you subscribe, and then that'll make me content.
Please make him content.
Yeah, right? Just subscribe. That's all I ask. You don't even have to watch us. No, you have to watch us. Or listen to us.
I was going to say, you don't have to watch us if you're driving. Just listen.
No, you can do it. You put on YouTube on your car while you're driving. Just hold up your phone.
I sometimes do that.
Don't say that.
Sorry.
Wow.
I don't watch YouTube, but like sometimes I'm on like a video call with someone.
Nope.
Cut it out.
I'm not cutting it out. I'm not cutting it out. I will be content when you get a ticket.
Hopefully not.
So then let's talk about contentment during trials.
Yes.
Right? You can acknowledge the pain, but while still being content in God's sovereignty. So.
Yeah. It's interesting because we were talking a little bit about this in Ladies Bible Study on Thursday mornings. We've been going through Romans.
Okay.
And in Romans chapter 5, verses 1 to 11, it talks about sharing in the suffering of Christ. And I think that part of the contentedness that you can have in it is not a contentedness of like, God, thank you that I am hurting right now.
Right.
It can be a, God, this really hurts.
Yes.
And this is really, really challenging. The contentedness part comes from a knowledge that you are not doing it by yourself. You have a God who has experienced real suffering. When we look at the life of Jesus, he experienced exhaustion.
Right.
He experienced crowds wanting to stone him and kill him. He experienced death. And because of that, like he understands the suffering that we're going through. And so we're not doing it on our own. We're doing it with the knowledge that the one who has a plan and a purpose for us is with us and has a plan and a purpose for us. And so we can still hold on to that joy of being in fellowship with God, regardless of what's going on.
Yeah. Now, you're leading the women's Bible study on Thursday.
I'm speaking for it, yes. I am the speaker.
You are the speaker. You don't want to say you're the leader? I like the leader. It sounds way more
formal.
Yeah. Hey, she leads it.
Yeah. I am the speaker for it. I feel more comfortable with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're the speaker for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was talking to Lisa and she told me your word of the year is contentment.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That why you picked Romans? You knew you were going to hit this, or did you just happen to stumble? What? I've never had a word of the year.
Right. Yes.
So have you had how many words of the year have you had?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't necessarily kept count of the words of the year that I've had. It probably started back in 2015. And it was actually part of the previous podcast that I did with you of my testimony.
Right.
And it was something that I had heard, just a phrase used by Pastor Vince, Pastor Greg. And
right.
It's not necessarily like God spoke audibly to me and said, this is your word. It was more just out of a time of prayerfulness and going into the new year and saying, God, like, what is maybe something that I need to learn? What is something that I need to go deeper in than I've previously known? And not last year, but the year before, I felt that it was meant to be the word interruptibility.
I don't think I've ever used that word once in my life.
Yes, that
I mean, I do a lot of work with Vince.
Right, yeah.
So I would think I would be, but.
No, but I had this word of being, be willing to be interrupted. Okay. And, so many people took that and they're like, oh, well, let me interrupt you when you're talking, or like, let me take something from you while you're using it. And I said, yes, like those are funny examples of being interruptible. But actually, I mean, I don't want my life to be so full of my agenda and the things that I have put on my calendar that I'm unwilling to stop when someone says, I need help. When someone calls out to me and says, I'm in a rough way and I need someone to drive me from this place to this place. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I have dinner at 4:00. No, that's not how Jesus responded to people.
Right.
He said, no, I'm going to go the longer way to meet with the woman at the well.
Right.
Because I'm willing to be interrupted because this person's life is important. And I can't say that it wasn't an audible thing, but I do know that leading up to that, my life had started to become very focused on my agendas and very focused on what my calendar said.
Okay.
And when people were like, hey, can we do something? Oh, no, sorry, I'm booked out for 3 months. I realized that was not the right lifestyle.
Right.
And so going into this year, when I was praying and saying, okay, God, what do you have in store for me this year? I really felt that sense of, are you content? Are you content in me? Where are your desires? Where are the things that you put priority on? Because the things that you are desiring, the things that you're putting priority on, are going to impact whether you hold on to joy throughout this year. And it does make me go to Psalms 37.
Awesome.
Which says, to trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and cultivate faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your ways to the Lord. Trust also in him, and he will do it. And that's Psalms chapter 37, verse 3-5. And I just can't look at contentedness and not tie it with what is being stored in your heart. Because what's being stored in your heart is going to be displayed over every action, every word, every thought, and every interaction. And so if I go into this season and I fill it with a desire for God, and I fill it with a desire to be Christ-like, well, my heart is already put into a position of wanting more and more of him. So then how can my heart be disappointed when I'm seeking after him and he says that he will make himself known to those who seek him? Well, I'm going to be content because I'm getting my heart's desire, because my heart's desire is him.
Right.
And so when I started thinking about that, I started going into this year, and, this year has had a few ups and downs for me. We're only, day 14, day 15 in, and it has, it held some just unexpected challenges and trials in my life. And I've clung to this. I've clung to God in the midst of the unknown. And it's not something I'm going to talk specifically about on this, but
please don't.
In the midst of this unknown, I'm grieving over that. And there's real pain. But there is a contentedness because my heart is so full of God. And I was thinking and reading this, it's a liturgy, and it says that, all of my trying to add up is going to be fruitless. But God wants to answer those who call out to know him more. And I've just been experiencing that and feeling that so much. And as I go into this unknown year, already faced with challenges and trials and things that have really been quite hard for me, there is a sense of, I did not know that I could still experience this amount of a steady, contented joy that has actually not been impacted despite these things that I'm facing. And it comes back to what I have filled my heart with. It comes back to the fact that my heart is full with a desire for the Lord. And so that's never going to be disappointed.
Wow. You got deep.
I did.
I love it.
It also got hot.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot in here.
It is warm.
I think I'll try to change the. I mean, I don't want.
Yeah, you're fine.
With that Bible verse, the Bible verses that you just read,
mm-hmm.
I think they're some of the most misinterpreted verses in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go with give me a bunch of different verses that are misinterpreted, like people are going to take they're going to take out of context.
Yeah,
that's probably up there. I mean, you got to figure, give me what if I just trust in Jesus, then he'll give me everything I want.
Yes,
and I think that's they're looking at it shallowly, I guess is the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at, is it Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 24, it talks about don't store up for yourself treasures on earth, things that rust can destroy, but instead, save up for yourself treasures that cannot be exposed to these things. Well, what are treasures that cannot be exposed to rust? Well, it's not physical things.
Right.
And so I think so often in our humanity, we want to place God in a box that says that he is here to make me happy. And he's going to be that instant gratification that I have learned from world and society. Right. And now that I'm in relationship with the God of the universe who is capable of doing all of these things, well, his desire is to make me happy. But nowhere in scripture does it support that.
Correct.
He says, actually, his purpose is to reveal his glory. And he's going to use us to reveal his glory. And so when we read this and we say, oh, God's going to give us the desire of our heart, you have to read the first verse that says, make your desire me.
Context. All about context.
All about context. So, he starts by saying your desire has to be a desire for me. It has to be a desire for relationship with me.
Right.
And when your desire is that, I'm going to give you the desires of your heart.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. It's like I've read this before.
Yeah, right? So it's kind of like the when-then fallacy.
Yes. What is this?
Yes, I was saying to you that I wanted to talk about this. So it's when I get this and when this happens, I'll be happy then. And that's never going to happen. When I get this bigger car, I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
When I get this better job, when I get this promotion, that'll make me happy. It's not. It's you're following down a path of when, then, and it's not about happiness because nowhere, I don't believe anywhere in the Bible it's like, well, God's going to make you happy. Because Christian, I knew that actually. I was trying to.
Ease into another thing.
Yeah, no, but as far as thanks, call me out how I do my job. No, I love it. But when I tell you this, then you'll be you'll be happy with me. No, because it's not about happiness. It's because happiness is a feeling. It's fleeting. It's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is happiness based in?
Yeah, it's. I don't know where you're asking me because I got. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I think too, and maybe I am getting off topic slightly here, but
there's nothing about this is nothing about getting off topic.
Okay.
I talked about said naked and afraid on here, so
yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just thinking of the when these things happen, then I'm going to do these things. What it communicates to me is there is an element of a delayed obedience in that.
Yeah.
And I remember having someone, probably when I was in Australia, it might have been my parents, honestly, but the statement of delayed obedience is still disobedience. And when you are cultivating disobedience to God, it breaks relationship with him because that's part of sinning, right?
Correct.
And so there's this this thought of like, hey, if you just give me this, then I'm going to act in the way that you've called me to act. It's disobedient. And instead of it building a contentment or a joy or a satisfaction or a thankfulness within us, it does the opposite. It builds resentment and bitterness and miscontent and an inability then to recognize the things that God has given to you, because you're starting to focus on, well, he hasn't done the things that I have, in essence, challenged him to do to prove that he's God. Because that's really what you're saying, right?
Right.
When you're saying, God, when you do this, then I'll know for real that you're God.
Right.
And if you don't do it, well, then are you not God? Right. Or, it starts bringing you into a totally different mindset. And it's not one that is encouraging at all. I have witnessed so many people start down that route and end up kind of turning their backs on God or walking away because they said he never did this thing that I told him to do or asked him to do or challenged him to do. I said, well, where in Scripture do you see that God has said that that's how he's going to interact with us?
Right. And I think a lot of times that's during a trial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If, somebody has cancer and you're like, God, if you're there, take away this cancer.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it, I'll believe, and so on. I think it's a lot of time, those drastic parts of your life where you don't have a real handle. You humanly,
you have no control.
And you can't control, and you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
So the non-believer is just going to reach out to whatever.
Yeah.
Then
I actually think in those moments, you come to an understanding of a reality. And I think that's that we actually don't hold any control. The control that we have is who we choose to serve. So we can either choose to serve a loving God who does have things in his control and does have a plan and a purpose, or we can choose to allow the world to have control over our lives. And we really can't force too much in our lives to happen in a certain way. But, I think that when you are in those trials, it's just the lights that are highlighted and blinking, and you feel it even more acutely than you would in seasons of, I don't know, joy and fruitfulness and lack of trial, contentment. No. Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to be content when
things are going good.
Yeah. You're living that high life and everything's going well. And then, it's that one bump in the road.
Yeah. But, I often think too, like, and maybe this is not your experience, but I actually see it more of not just that one little bump. It's the bumps that are persevering.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. You got over the one hurdle right. and now there's another hurdle.
There's Mount Everest in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would never be facing Mount Everest because, maybe if I'm behind a TV, I'm sure eventually you're going to go up Mount Everest, right?
Man, what a dream would that be?
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like a dream.
Base camp. Oh, that would be so cool. I mean, I was in Nepal and I did see Mount Everest from the airplane, and it looked like it was part of the clouds, and it was not. It's a mountain peeking out above the clouds.
Okay.
But that was it was the magnitude of it. You feel like an ant.
Yeah.
Just standing next in an airplane flying thousands of feet from it.
Yeah, right. So, Are there any other places you really like, bucket list places that you need to go to?
All of the world.
All of the world?
All of the world.
All of the world?
All of the world. Yeah. I would love to put my feet on every continent. I will be content.
No. I understand. I get it. You're not saying like if you don't get it, you're not going to believe in God anymore if you don't hit all seven. continents.
Absolutely. But
that's right. I said 7. I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
correct.
I know.
I hesitated.
I was letting the audience know how good I am.
Yeah, you got it.
I nailed it.
Well done.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at Trivial Pursuit.
I've never been good at that.
No, I can do that, but I can't climb Mount Everest.
Well, I don't know that I would ever be able to climb it, but I would like to at least be at the base camp and like view it in real time person. I think for me, I love being out in nature. I love scripture that says that the creation reveals your creator.
Right.
Because I see the evidence of that all around me. When I am in Colorado and I'm hiking, these mountaintops and seeing these glacier pools, and they're the bluest blue that I've ever seen, I stand there and I go, there is no part of me that could reconcile that this just happened. Every part of me feels the brushstrokes of a creator who has made this in front of me. And when I'm hiking in Canyonlands and I'm, going to different countries and experiencing different cultures, to me, like there's the fingerprint of God in all of it. And it makes me worship him, and it makes me stand in awe that he loved us this much, that he created this world for us. He created this diversity for us, for our enjoyment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't enjoy nature as much as you do. I gotta be honest. I mean, I think it's cool to go out there and then go back in, but it just
in your backyard.
I don't even need to do that. I mean, no, I like drive. Like Lisa and I went to this cave a couple of weeks ago. It was awesome. Like seeing all that kind of cool stuff. Mm-hmm. But even like seeing like an autopsy or whatever, and how God used each nerve and how they keep learning more and more. Mm-hmm. And for somebody to think like, oh yeah, so like this big bang happened and then a fish came out of the water and started walking and all that stuff. Like it just again, it goes back to I don't understand it. You believe in the birds and you believe in I don't get that. I'm going to change up again topics because
why not?
It's my podcast.
Yeah,
I can do what I want, right? If you don't want to listen, you don't have to. I'm content with that. Legume. Yes. Legume is a Swedish word.
Sounds like a bean.
It does sound like a bean. Maybe I'm saying it incorrectly. Maybe I don't have any kind of Swedish.
It sounds right.
The closest I can come to Swedish is Ern, right? The Swedish chef from the Muppets.
Yes.
Anyway, but it means just the right amount. So basically it's saying too much of anything is too much, which is a Who song, but we'll skip over that but too much pizza. Because you go like, there can't be too much pizza.
Love pizza.
Yeah. But the right amount is comfortable eating. Mm-hmm. But then you eat a little bit more and it's a lot of pain. I love a great concert and a good guitar solo or drum solo. Too much of a guitar solo, you got to go to the bathroom and
you miss it. And
go get a hot dog or something. It's like, we get it. You're amazing at the guitar. And, there's too much. But just being content with the right amount. And I know there's not an English word that matches up with that, but I think there should be it's just being content with the right amount.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we overdo it, or you overdo it, not me. Just kidding.
Sometimes I overdo it.
Just kidding. Hiking or whatever.
Personally attacked.
You should.
Shots are fired.
No shot. No, I think sometimes as humans, when I was saying you, I meant
I know, yeah,
the collective you, and then I just decided to pick on you, the kill you. Mm-hmm. But I think as a collective, we need to not overindulge, not we just have being content. I mean, that's really why we decided to have this topic.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think. Again, we have to look at what society teaches us right now, because the message of today is the instant gratification, is just a little bit more, just go a little bit bigger, just have a little bit more. And it isn't in alignment with saying, hey, having what you need is enough.
Right.
And you don't have to go more than that.
Yeah.
To enjoy it more, to eke out more from this thing. You can actually just say enough is where I can have the fullness of joy in this moment. And you talk about pizza, but I think pizza is a good example. I'm more of an ice cream person.
Okay, so let's go ice cream.
So in my mind, I'm thinking of I love mint chocolate chip, and I could honestly probably sit down and
green or white.
Oh, it has to be green.
Oh, it has to be green.
It has to be green. That's in my mind. That's the correct. Like I don't even think of the white kind as mint chocolate chip.
So Breyers is out. Turkey Hill is in.
Totally. Yeah. Uh-huh. Or honestly, we used to make it for ourselves when we were growing up. So we would just add in like the green food dye, and then
you added in green food dye just to add it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because it had to be green.
Yeah. But you weren't content with it.
I wasn't content
with the white.
It was green. It wasn't enough to have it be any other color. No, but I think of that of ice cream as a child. I had no self-control, and I did not have. And, I think that this also speaks to our maturity in Christ, is a growing into contentedness. Because as a child, I thought like a child. And to me, even if the consequence was I have a sick stomach, I was going to finish off that container of ice cream.
Even if you knew you were getting sick?
Even if I knew that I was going to get sick. But it has taken maturity.
Yeah.
It has taken, honestly, failed experiences as well sometimes to teach me that, that thought process of, hey, just a little bit more is going to make me more satisfied is actually a wrong thought. And stopping with the right amount is actually going to make me more satisfied, more content, more joyful, and more productive than going overboard and being disappointed each time. Because I think that there is a little bit of a desire within us to do the extra more because we're expecting to get more joy from it or, more contentment from it. But it's never that. It's always a disappointment because we always feel sick or ill or, there's repercussions on us that if we had just said, this is enough, and we're willing to sit in the discomfort of this is enough.
Yeah.
It would grow us into a place that says, I'm not looking for that extra thing anymore. I'm content with what I have right here. Does that, I don't know.
I think that's perfect. But it also sets us up for, I think the people have had enough of us.
Oh.
And I think just the right amount.
Yeah.
Like if we go any farther, we've ruined it all. It's too much of Keely and Bill.
I hear you.
Yeah. So
on that note,
subscribe, like us, and tune in next week when we have. No, I don't know. We don't. Whoever I have.
Great.
So thanks, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye.